Well, I got a question for you. What is Australia's top ranking university? Most people would probably say it's the University of Melbourne, but ain't no University of Melbourne here in Fremantle. This place, the University of Notre Dame, is also one of Australia's top ranking institutions, but not on a global scale like the University of Melbourne. How good is this?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Here, University of Notre Dame ranks extremely highly for student satisfaction. Students love coming and studying here. And on some of the really critical measures of things like student support, learner engagement, student satisfaction, this place ranks in the top couple of institutions in the entire country. What does that mean for you? Well, of course, you've always got to think about what your priorities are. If you're interested in studying at Australia's most prestigious institution, maybe the University of Melbourne might be for you. However, if you want to study at an institution where overall students are really, really happy with their experience, a place like Notre Dame could be for you. So why is that? Because some of the pros of studying at this institution are that it's a smaller university. You've got a much higher level of attention from the academics and the administrators who work here on you because there are fewer students. And in some of its academic discipline areas, this place is absolutely extraordinary. Nursing and education rank incredibly highly, but not just those two. Some of the other really well-known areas are things like business and management, law is quite strong here, psychology, social work, tourism and hospitality, the health sciences, as we just mentioned, as well as communications. All of these areas rank really, really well. But what might be the negative of coming to a place like Notre Dame? Well, it is a smaller institution and the name Notre Dame University isn't as well known as obviously some of those big universities that you find elsewhere. Should that be a deal breaker for you? Well, no, not necessarily, because it is a really tight-knit alumni community. So people who've studied at Notre Dame know how good this place really is. So that could actually create deeper opportunities for you, even though you might not have as broad a range of opportunities. Other cons for the University of Notre Dame, it is multi-campus, which means it has campuses here in Perth as well as in some of the eastern cities as well. So maybe it's a bit less coherent. It doesn't have a discrete campus, one campus where all of the students are. Even here in Fremantle, which is awesome, the campus is kind of like the city centre. So that might be awesome for you if you really love that kind of small city vibe. You love having access to their cafes, you walk out of class and you're in the city. That's awesome. But it doesn't have that traditional, large, open campus area like you see in some other institutions. University of Notre Dame is a private university. It's one of only a handful of private institutions in the country. And traditionally that has meant that the fees here have been typically higher than the public institutions. One of the other things maybe to think about here is that the demographic is quite specific. Firstly, because it is a private institution, so the fees have been higher, might attract a certain calibre of students. But secondly, it has a very, very low percentage of international students that study here. Something like only around 1% of the student body compared to around about 20% as an average across Australian institutions. Does that make much of a difference? Well, maybe, maybe, like everything, maybe. It means that there's going to be less diversity in the student body here. And personally, I think diversity is really, really important. It allows you to meet people from different backgrounds, and that's so important. But if you're an international student, it certainly means that if you come to Notre Dame, you're going to be quite a unique feature here on campus. I reckon that's going to make it easier for you to meet people here and to really have a deep Australian experience, because most of your classmates are actually local Australians.